We have a moment of omission that I skipped over, but we'll put it in now.
This year is the Christmas Fund. The theme for it is Shepherding the Light. And the Christmas Fund does not go to programs, but it goes to people. It goes to retired ministers and laymen. And it helps them with specifically their monthly pension supplementation, quarterly health premium supplementation. Christmas thank you gift checks are sent out to 503 retired members. And they have emergency grants. And there was a little blurb about a minister who needed emergency quadruple bypass or whatever surgery. And they hadn't expected that, and so they applied for a grant and received a grant that helped them then pay for their mortgage or whatever. So consider this. We will be collecting it through the month of December. And last year we gave gift totaling $143, and see if we can meet that or surpass that, because it does go to individuals that definitely can use it. And these are the envelopes here for this one.
One of the things to remember for the retired pastors who benefit from this, many of these are pastors whose only career was ministry. And back 30, 40 years ago, ministers didn't make much. So when you don't make much, your contribution to Social Security isn't much. So some of these folks are living on not much at all. So it is a very helpful thing to know. Let us, yes.
Just one more Thanksgiving, and I'm sure Jeff will appreciate this. Wisconsin is 12-0, undefeated. So,
And I see Jeff is wearing red in their honor. So let us prepare our hearts for worship. The day foretold is coming.
When our tired eyes will behold a fire, a blazing star in the eastern sky.
The one foretold is coming.
Whose light shall shine through the deepest gloom.
The day is at hand.
Your redemption is drawing near.
Amen. Our opening hymn is number 121. Holy source of life and hope, as we come together this day, open our ears to hear, open our eyes to see, and open our hearts to love, that we may come to know your ways and follow your paths. Help us to grow in love for one another and for all creation, as we prepare for the coming of the one who calls us to turn from our false gods to you, Holy One, the true source of our salvation. Amen.
Blessed be the God of Israel, who has come to set us free.
All around the world, there are wars and rumors of wars. Peace appears to be a distant dream.
Through the prophets of old, God promises peace.
Like the people of old, who long for peace, not only as release from armed conflict, but as a way of living our lives, freed from fears and anxiety.
Today, on this first day of Advent, we light the candle of peace. May we find God's peace in our hearts and be bearers of God's peace in our world.
God's light of peace will shine on us this day to guide our feet into the ways of peace.
Peace be with us.
Will you join me in the litany of confession printed in the bulletin? Loving Creator, you call us to hope in your salvation and rejoice in your promise of the birth that is to come. We are afraid.
You invite us into a world where justice and righteousness prevail, but we turn away in fear.
We long for an easy path into your promised world, but you warn us that there is no easy way.
Birth thy life within us, holy midwife, that we may abide in hope and in your perfect love, the love that casts out fear.
Amen. Hear these words of assurance. God's mercy and steadfast love endure, strengthening our hearts and overcoming our fears. God will remove every obstacle that keeps us from being the body of Christ. Amen. Our hymn is number 154. Help us to pay attention to the many ways in which you enrich our lives, O God. It has become far too easy for us to focus on the negative. We seem trapped in its spidery strands. This morning we celebrate the beginning of the season of Advent, the coming of the Holy One. But before we can begin the celebration, we have to acknowledge where we have fallen short. We need to change our attitudes of defiance to visions of cooperation. Be with our families and friends and neighbors who suffer from illnesses, sorrow, alienation, marginalization, abuse, and fear. Bring healing and peace to their lives and their souls. Be with our families, friends, and neighbors who are experiencing great joy and happiness. May their spirits rejoice in all these good moments and in your great gifts. All these things we pray in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, who taught us to pray, saying,
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
As we come to our time of giving and sharing, let us remember that God's love for us knows no bounds. In grateful response, let our gifts to others abound.
Giver of all good things, as we offer these gifts to you, open our eyes to see more clearly all that we have been given and all that we have to give. Stretch our capacity to give of ourselves, our love, our companionship, and our material resources, wherever they may be. Amen.
You may be seated. Our hymn is number 127. This may be a new one for you, but sing loud anyway.
Amen.
gracious promise with the people of Israel and Judah. In those days and at that time, I will raise up a righteous branch from David's line, who will do what is just and right in the land. In those days, Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will live in safety. And this is what he will be called. The Lord is our righteousness. Our gospel reading is from Luke 21, verses 25 through 36. Hear these words of Jesus. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth there will be dismay among nations and their confusion over the roaring of the sea and surging waves. The planets and other heavenly bodies will be shaken, causing people to faint from fear and foreboding of what is coming upon the world. Then they will see the human one coming on a cloud with power and great splendor. Now when these things begin to happen, stand up straight and raise your heads, because your redemption is near. Jesus told them a parable. Look at the fig tree and all the trees. When they sprout leaves, you can see for yourselves and know that summer is near. In the same way, when you see these things happening, you know that God's kingdom is near. I assure you that this generation won't pass away until everything has happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will certainly not pass away. Take care that your hearts aren't dulled by drinking parties, drunkenness, and the anxieties of day-to-day life. Don't let that day fall upon you unexpectedly like a trap. It will come upon everyone who lives on the face of the whole earth. Stay alert at all times, praying that you are strong enough to escape everything that is about to happen and to stand before the human one. Will you join me in the response to the word printed in the bulletin?
Ever faithful teacher of truth, your word is born anew each moment. It will never pass away. Grant that we may be bearers of that word, bringing your love and hope and justice into this divided, hurting world. Amen.
Jeremiah is speaking to the Jewish people who are in exile. They are living in what they feel is hell. Nothing is going well for them. They're slaves. Everything that they own has been taken from them. Their homes, their religion. Because the Babylonians were not Jewish. Nothing in their lives was going well. They were slaves. When someone is in a place like that, being told, hang on, it's going to get better, is a message they need, but they may not truly appreciate. You've heard the saying, my friend told me to cheer up, things could be worse. So I cheered up, and sure enough, they got worse. It happens. Sometimes hope is really hard to hold on to. But sometimes that's all you have. And that is the situation these people found themselves in. They were waiting for the coming of this Savior. The Lord is my righteousness, is his name. And they are waiting with more anticipation than any kid waiting for Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. They can't wait. Unfortunately, They have to, just like that kid on Christmas Eve, waiting for the new bike, or their Hatchimal, or whatever this year's great and wonderful toy is. They have to wait. We too are waiting. That's what this represents. Our point to ponder today says, our willingness to wait reveals the value we place on what we're waiting for. How long would you wait for something? I remember some years ago, Josh must have been 15, 16, and there was something that he really wanted. And Best Buy had them on sale on Black Friday. And he wanted to go camp out on the sidewalk at Best Buy. Now, truthfully, in St. Louis, Thanksgiving evening is a little bit warmer than it is here, usually about 8 to 10 degrees, but it's still pretty chilly. And whatever it was that he was placing such great value on, that he would camp out on a sidewalk on a cold night, was not something I'd have camped out for. I don't know about you, but I'm not camping out for anything less than a $1,000 bill. I'm just not doing that. There is nothing at Best Buy or Walmart or any of those other stores that I want that bad. Especially now that you can go online and order it and you don't even have to take your jammies off. Why would you do that? But these people were waiting for something of infinite value. How long would you wait? They waited quite a long time. The Lord is our righteousness was to come out of David's line. Now that, of course, is an awesome thing because David was known as the best king ever. Even though he wasn't exactly perfect. He had a few character flaws, like having a woman's husband killed so he could have the woman. I mean, that's a pretty big character flaw. But he was still considered the best. So anything that came out of that line had to be something awesome. And they waited. They held on to that hope because there wasn't much else they could hold on to. And then we fast forward to Jesus. Now, Jeremiah was talking about Jesus' birth. Jesus is talking about his return after the crucifixion, which of course nobody really got because they didn't get that there would be a crucifixion. But he tells them to look for signs. Did you know that it was forecast that the world would end last Saturday? Did you know that? Well, you missed it. We're still here. The world is still here. And that's been predicted many, many times over history. We used to have a big billboard in St. Louis that said, the end of the world will be, and there was a date. So everybody kind of waited around to see what would happen, and you passed the billboard, and we thought, maybe. But I'm still going to go to work just in case. I'm still going to study for my test just in case. And it was a good thing that we did all those things just in case because it didn't happen. We don't know when it's going to happen. We're supposed to look for signs. Signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. The nations will be in dismay. Well, I think we've been there for hundreds of years, don't you? All these things that will cause fear and foreboding. There are people of fear and foreboding. That's humanity. That's pretty nebulous stuff, isn't it? But be ready. Jesus told them the parable of the fig tree. Now, it hasn't been that long since our leaf-bearing trees lost them. In fact, we still have a fair number of them in the yard here. How many people are ready for spring? Yeah. Guess what? It ain't gonna be for a while. It ain't gonna be for a long while. But we're ready because we've had that first cold snap. We've had a couple of little snows. And those of us who have arthritis are pretty tired of that already. Look for that big tree. Look for all those trees with leaves, because the first sign of spring is that little green haze around those trees when the leaves are just starting to bud out. Look for that. That's a sign. But it's a parable. So are there really trees that we need to watch for the green coming? It could happen anytime. The point is, be ready. Don't get stuck in the day-to-day junk. How hard is that to do, folks? Do you ever get to the point where you think, I cannot watch the news another minute? I cannot read about any other disasters. I cannot read about any more poor people who have no hope. Or rich people who take advantage of it. I can't read about anybody else's scandals. Do you ever feel like that? This is how those people felt. Watch for the signs. Something big is going to happen, but we don't know when. That's even worse than waiting for Christmas. Because you know, December 25th, that's it. Yeah, it's Advent now, and we don't get to sing Joy to the World yet. Because it's Advent. We're waiting for the coming. So what do we do while we wait? We get ready. Think about when you went on your first date. It's been a while. Think about how much time you spent getting ready. Even if you're a guy and all you had to do was shave and wear a clean outfit, didn't you prepare? Didn't you worry about, will I look like a nerd? Or will she think I'm a dumb jock? Or will I spill gravy on my tie? Will I say something so incredibly stupid she'll just look at me in shock and awe? And girls, how long did it take you to decide which outfit to wear? How to do your hair? Which perfume to wear? Which makeup you needed? If we spent half as much time preparing our lives for the coming of Christ as we did for our first date, What would that look like? Be ready for something that you don't know when it's going to happen. That's hard. That's hard. But that is what we're supposed to do. So in the meantime, what we can do is we can work to have better relationships. We can work to love the people who are closest to us. Not just relation-wise, not just your family, but those who literally are close. Start small. Expand. We need to use our time wisely. While we wait. Waiting's hard. Anybody here like to wait? Yeah, me neither. It's hard, but it's coming. And you know, the people of Jesus' day didn't see all these signs when they were right in their faces. So I'm guessing that those of us all these years later aren't going to see them any better. But watch. Wait. Keep that hope alive that the Lord, whose name is our righteousness, is going to come and is going to set things right. Just like Jesus did during his time on earth with the Jews. When he welcomed children who nobody had much use for until they were grown. He welcomed poor people, sick people, weird people. All those people that nobody thought much of. Because he was working for justice. Justice is what every person deserves. And what any of us deserve at any given time can change. But the nice thing about the justice of God is that there's also mercy. And mercy is when we get what we need. We may not deserve it, but we get it. So let us remember to hope. Amen. Our closing hymn is number S.
Soon
wondering if I should check for smoldering leaves. Okay, I feel much better now. I hope I didn't put the candle out. That would be a bad thing. Hope. Hope is what we need when nothing else seems to be working very well. Have hope, watch for the signs, and work on getting yourselves together. Me too. That's not just a you statement, that's an us statement. Because I'm still working on it too. And now, until we meet again, may each one be held safely in the palm